So it's been a while since I've done a top 7 based on the best cartoons or movies from the previous year. The last year I did that with was 2017, and that was in 2018, so a couple years ago. I've decided to bring back the tradition of doing that, but this time just with cartoons and movies. Animated movies specifically. I'm not going to have a worst movies list because, honestly, there really wasn't that much. Not in that there weren't bad movies, it's just that there weren't a lot of movies in general. So I'll just be going over the best of what I watched in 2020. And with this video, I'll be talking about the best cartoons that premiered in 2020 that I watched. Keyword on premiered, so I'm not going to be talking about seasons that continued from previous years into 2020. So all of the cartoons on this list are new. So let's get started. The first one on my list is The Midnight Gospel. This is a cartoon from Pendleton Ward that premiered on Netflix. It's based on a podcast, so the dialogue feels very natural. They sort of take segments from the podcast and add a little bit to it, and put visuals along with what they're talking about. Though the visuals don't really always correlate with what they're talking about. It can be very trippy and interesting. It has a very unique, fluid animation. Though one thing I didn't really like about the show that much is that it talks about death a lot, and it gets very existential. And that's not really the fault of the show, it's more the fault of the podcast it's based on, I guess. But I would recommend it just for the trippy visuals. Next up is Camp Cretaceous, which I know is not really the best cartoon, but is a show that I've wanted for a long time, being a Jurassic Park cartoon. The dinosaurs look great in it, and it has some of the best kid characters the franchise has ever had. And the first season has some very intense moments. If you're someone who likes the Jurassic Park franchise, or specifically the Jurassic World franchise, you would probably love this. I'm always up for more content from the Jurassic franchise. Then at number 5, I have The Owl House. If you're a fan of anime, this is yet another Western isekai. So it's very similar to Amphibian, which premiered the year before, where the main character gets sucked into a different world. And I do like Luz. She's a very fun, happy main character that's full of curiosity, and the owl lady Ida takes her under her wing. And I think Ida is a great, sassy, maternal figure for Luz. And I do like all of the side characters as well, they're pretty fun. Then at number 4, I have Glitch Techs. If you like video games, you will either love this show or hate it. Mainly because of one of the main characters, Miko, who talks in a very memey way. Like, almost every time she opens her mouth, she says some kind of video game related thing. And the references to games in the show aren't completely direct, but they work within the world, where you're like, oh yeah, this is a game that exists in this world by this company that they're working for. And the animation is very fun and vibrant, especially during the action sequences. It's something that I really hope does get another season. Now, number 3 is Animaniacs, which is technically a reboot, so I'm counting it, even though it feels like a continuation. So, yeah, I don't know if I'm cheating on this or not, but Animaniacs reboot, I really like it. It has a way of telling relevant jokes that I actually laugh at. Seriously, out of all the shows on this list, it probably made me laugh out loud the most. It is a bit odd seeing them so clean with the animation, but you get used to it after a while. And they also have some pretty fun songs. Right now they only have these segments with the Warners and Pinky and the Brain, which Pinky and the Brain is probably the best part of the show at the moment. They really recaptured that formula with them right. Now number 2 is Close Enough. This is the new cartoon from J.G. Quintel, the creator of Regular Show. While Regular Show was about people in their 20s, Close Enough is about people in their 30s, which is perfect timing because I'm in my 30s now, and Regular Show came out when I was in my 20s. And the things that happen to the main characters can be very crazy relatable, probably even more than Regular Show. I love all of the main characters and their different living situations, and I can't wait to see them put into more crazy situations. It hasn't got to quite the insane levels as Regular Show did, but I have a feeling that it will. And finally, my number 1 cartoon of 2020 is Kipo in the Age of Wonder Beasts. It's about this world in the future that is inhabited by these mutated animals that can talk. And humans on Earth have been driven underground to live there while the animals take over the surface. But we follow Kipo, our main character, who is on the surface now, and she's trying to find out how to get back home. The series does a really good job of slowly revealing the secrets of the world. Like what happened to Kipo's family, why is she pink, and the character of Scarlamagne is one of my favorite antagonists to come out in a while. and he has a really good arc throughout the show. Kipo did have all 3 of its seasons release in 2020, and I do think it had a satisfying conclusion. There are some people that think it didn't, but it worked for me, honestly. So I would give it a watch if you haven't watched it already. So that's it for my top 7 cartoons of 2020. What are your favorite cartoons that came out in 2020? Tell me down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye!